It's Ben Debski here, back with another hopefully helpful tutorial. And this time the tutorial is on how to book a tee time. As mentioned previously through email and through our video update in May, the golf committee and board has done a tremendous job opening up more tee access for the first tee, and in particular on weekend mornings by pushing the start times of some of our major men's events back somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes in some cases. So as those start times have been pushed back, it does allow more access, but we are also going to require mandatory tee times on 5 specific days in 2023. So those days where you'll need a mandatory tee time prior to the starting time of the tournament will be Saturday, May 20th, Sunday, May 21st, Saturday, June 3rd, Saturday, August 5th, and Saturday, August 19th. So if you intend to play on any of those 5 days prior to the tournament, you will be required to have a tee time. Unfortunately, if you don't have a tee time during those start times, play will not be permitted. A couple of things as I walk you through the tee time policy, or how to book a tee time, that you need to be aware of are you need to have a foursome. So please make sure if you go to book a tee time that you have your foursome set. Otherwise, you will not be able to make a tee time. You will still be able to have one guest per member in the tee sheet window. Cart, 4-caddy, push cart, or caddy will also be available as normal for that normal tee time window, 7:15 to 9:15. And our times of play will remain consistent. So certificate and intermediate members will be allowed to make tee times. The tee sheets for those specific days are going to open 3 days in advance at 7 a.m. and they will close at 4 a.m. the day of play. So for Saturday, May 20th, the tee sheet is going to open up on Wednesday, May 17th at 7 o'clock a.m. So I'm going to walk you through how to book a tee time at this point, and I'm impersonating certificate member Andy Caldwell, and this is the page that Mr. Caldwell would see after he's put in his login credentials and then logged in. So this is the home page that Mr. Caldwell would see. And to book a tee time, he's going to go up here to golf, and he's got these drop-down options. But the first one here, as you can see, is tee time reservation. So for Mr. Caldwell to book a tee time, he's going to click on tee time reservations. And keep in mind, the only days that he's going to be able to book a tee time will be those 5 specific days that I previously mentioned. So this brings him into the tee time reservations window or page. I'm going to simply scroll down briefly until I see this date option here, or this little mini calendar. If I click on the mini calendar, that's going to give me options to select. And again, the 2 days in May that have mandatory tee times are going to be May 20th and May 21st. So I'm going to click on May 20th, and this tee sheet I've opened up ahead of time for these tutorial purposes. And you can see as I pull into Saturday, May 20th, there are options to reserve tee times from 7:15 to 9:15. So the first tee time available for the tournament that day, which is the Senior Club Championship, is 9:30. So these are my tee time options. Any play that goes out after the Senior Club Championship, so let's say I want to play around 11:30 or 12, the tee at that time is going to operate under normal procedures. So you'll just show up. Once you have 3 players in your group, you'll be given a number and put into the queue as normal. But if you want to play ahead of the starting time for the event, you will need to reserve a tee time. So let's say Mr. Caldwell wants to play at 8:05. He's simply going to click on this reserve tab, and that's going to open up the window for him to book the tee time, as you can see here. Now, one item of importance is once Mr. Caldwell selects that tee time, you can see this little countdown here. He now has 10 minutes to fill in the necessary information to actually reserve the tee time. So there's plenty of time to take your time to get this tee time reserved. Once you open the window, that's yours for the next 10 minutes. So you can see here to confirm May 20th, 2023 is the date. You can see Mr. Caldwell has selected the 8:05 tee time. You can also see that his name has automatically populated in the player one location. You can also see here that as listed, all 4 of these players that Mr. Caldwell is going to plug in are going to receive confirmations for this tee time. So if Mr. Caldwell wanted to be the only one to receive the tee time confirmation, he can unselect send confirmations and click on player one, and that way only Mr. Caldwell will receive the notification. I'm going to leave notifications completely off because of the tutorial here. On the right-hand side, you can see the modes of transportation. So these modes are going to be consistent with our current policies. Mr. Caldwell and his other players will be permitted to take a cart, caddy, 4-caddy, or push cart in this tee time reservation window. So I'm going to have Mr. Caldwell take a caddy, and then I'm going to plug in the rest of his players here. So let's say Mr. Caldwell is going to play with Ed Welpley. I simply type in Mr. Welpley's last name, and it's going to populate the people in Mr. Welpley's family. I'm going to select Ed Welpley. I'm also going to pick an intermediate member here, Nick Calabrese. So I see Nick Calabrese populate. I'm going to click on him, and I'm going to select Mike Hodges as an additional player. So I'm going to select Mike Hodges here as the 4th player. So you can see as I did that, these confirmations populated. I'm going to uncheck those so they don't get the email confirmation. I'm going to go over here and put in caddy for Mr. Welpley, and we're going to say Nick Calabrese is going to take a push cart, and Mr. Hodges is going to take a cart. Now down here in the comments section, let's say Mr. Caldwell has a caddy request that he wants to take Jake for a caddy. So I can put in here Jake to caddy, and that's going to show up on the tee sheet on the administrative side so that Forrest and the professional staff will be able to see that Mr. Caldwell has made this request for Jake. So as you can see, that whole process took a little bit over 3 minutes to complete. I've got plenty of time if I need to make a change to that tee time. But let's say I'm ready to book the tee time now. All I have to do is go down here and hit make tee time. And that's going to pull up a little tee time received confirmation box. And I can kind of double check that everything is correct. And then I just click here to close the window. And we should see that tee time populate at the 8:05 time that I just booked. So you can see Andy Caldwell, Ed Welpley, Nick Calabrese, and Mike Hodges in that tee time window for 8:05. Now, Mr. Caldwell now owns this tee time. If he wanted to edit something here, let's say Mr. Welpley couldn't play, or he wanted to change his modes of transportation, we could go in here and edit the tee time. So Mr. Caldwell can come back in and edit. And let's say Nick Calabrese is sick, and so Mr. Caldwell is now going to bring a guest. So I can go in under Nick Calabrese and hit New Guest. And this is going to ask me would I like to add a new guest, and I can hit OK. And let's say my guest is Bob Smith. I can simply type first and last name in, and I'm going to hit Add Guest here. Okay, and Bob Smith populates. I can simply click on Bob Smith, uncheck the confirmation, and update the tee time. I'm going to get another tee time updated confirmation here. I'm going to close that, and then we should see Nick Calabrese pop out and guest Bob Smith pop into that tee time. So that's how you make the tee time. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful, and keep in mind as a friendly reminder, for those 5 dates, you will need a mandatory tee time prior to the first time of the event played on those 5 days. We look forward to seeing you on the course, and have a good day.